Once, in a cozy little village, lived an old woman. She was known far and wide for her kindness, wisdom, and the cheerful spirit she always carried. Naturally, the villagers adored her. They'd often seek her out, whether for a bit of advice or just to share what was on their minds. One day, a young man from the village approached her, curious. "How is it," he asked, "that you're always so happy? No matter what life throws your way, you never seem down. Don't you ever feel awful when things go wrong?" The old lady offered a gentle smile. "My dear," she replied, "life's a journey full of its ups and downs, isn't it? Some days are wonderful, others, not so much. But I've learned that true happiness, well, that comes from within, not from what's happening around us." The young man looked puzzled. "What do you mean by that?" he asked. "How can anyone be happy when bad things are happening?" So the old lady shared a story from her own past. "When I was younger," she began, "I had a loving family, a husband and children. We weren't wealthy by any means, but oh, we were happy. Then one day my husband fell gravely ill. We didn't have enough money for the medicine he needed. We tried everything we could, but he passed away. That was the darkest day of my life. I wept and wept, thinking I'd never find joy again." The young man listened intently as she went on. "After some time, it dawned on me that wallowing in sadness wouldn't bring my husband back. My children needed me, and I, for their sake and mine, needed to find a way back to happiness. So, I began to see life through a new lens. I understood that life would always serve up both good times and bad, but I made a firm decision. I wouldn't let the bad moments rob me of my happiness." He looked at her, a hint of surprise in his eyes. "But how did you manage that?" he asked. The old lady's smile returned. "Every morning when I open my eyes," she explained, "I tell myself today is a fresh start and I will find something to be happy about. Some days it's tougher than others, I won't lie, but I always find something, even if it's tiny. Perhaps the sun is beaming down, or a flower is in bloom, or I simply bump into a friend. There's always something to be grateful for." The young man pondered her words. "But what if something truly terrible happens?" he pressed. "How can you possibly still find happiness then?" "It's not always easy," the old lady admitted, "but I remind myself that everything, good or bad, eventually passes. Even the darkest times don't last forever. When something awful occurs, I tell myself, this too shall pass. I then shift my focus to the good things I still have, my health, my friends, or even just the simple gift of being alive. You see, happiness is a choice. You can choose to dwell on the bad and let sadness consume you, or you can choose to seek out the good and embrace happiness. It's not always a walk in the park, but it is possible." The young man thanked the old lady for her profound wisdom. He left her cottage determined to try her approach. From that day forward, he made a conscious effort to find something good in every situation, just as she did. Gradually, he noticed his life improving. Even when faced with setbacks, he learned to maintain a positive outlook and find joy in the little things. The old lady's story and her wisdom soon spread throughout the village. More and more people began to grasp that happiness wasn't about possessions or external events, but about their perspective on life itself. They too learned to find contentment in all situations, inspired by the wise old woman. And so the village slowly transformed into a much happier place, all thanks to the old lady who shared the secret to true happiness. It's a choice, nurtured from within. No matter how tough life gets, we can always find joy in small moments and choose to focus on the good. Life's challenges are temporary, but a positive attitude helps us stay resilient and content.